Welcome to Straight from the Muzzle, folks, where we're anything but straight. My name is Space.
My name is Gably. I'm here again.
And we welcome you to our show, which is about what today?
Today we are interviewing a very gooey lizard who created his own species called Dorbleys. Would you introduce yourself, Aver?
Hello, I'm Aver the Dorbley, and I'm like a lizard salamander, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. There's so much.
Yeah, they're kind of anything they want to be, but also it has to be something super specific. They have a weird culture, so yeah, I'll get into that later, I suppose.
Well, let's start with our first question, of course. What is your favorite muffin as an icebreaker?
Well, I'm going to have to say banana chocolate chip.
Ew. Why?
What do you mean, ew?
He's got banana in it. Ugh.
No. It is just like delicious. Well, okay. It's like delicious.
Is it banana
goo.
flavored, or is it like banana chunks in it?
No,
a long
it's
banana
like
sticky.
it's banana bread with chocolate chips in it and in muffin shape.
I'd rather
At least
eat
it's
zucchini bread.
Oh, at least it's not a whole banana sticking out of it, being like, muffin.
I'm sure there's some recipes that it's like now with 70% more banana, and it's just a rotten banana on top.
Potassium.
Totally like sticking out of it. Just like, it's a banana muffin. Well, what makes it a banana muffin? The banana.
Yeah. It's just like the cheap mini muffins that you get like at a hotel, just the muffin on top. Here's your banana muffin, kid. Enjoy.
For me, I have to say double chocolate. I love a good classic.
Okay, the only muffins I really like are the ones that come from Costco, and they're also the double chocolates.
Yes.
I mean, like, I don't hate
like
them.
if you have a Costco
great.
muffin, you're just kind of ruined for everything else.
Well, they were a meal in and of itself. They're just so huge.
Well, and let's be honest. Does anyone actually really enjoy the whole muffin, or do you just rip off the top and eat it? Because that's the best part.
I do what I do with cupcakes and chop it at the bottom. Like I take off the wrapping, chop it off, put it on top, and make it like a sandwich.
Oh, is that the thing that What's-Her-Face did on an interview? I'm trying to remember. She's like a celebrity that did it. The one chick that did Sweet Home Alabama. Reese Witherspoon, I think. Or maybe it's Taylor Swift. It's one of them. They were talking about it like, we heard that you eat, this cupcake differently. And she's like, oh yeah. So I just rip off the top and then I put the frosting down and then I just eat it like a sandwich. And everyone was just blown away by that. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, it's genius, but it's not like, oh my God, the universe has changed now forever.
Well, to show my Canadianness, like she just made a Joe Louis.
How's a Joe Louis? Is that what it is? Literally, you just
Canadianness. Joe Louis is basically two cakes with like cream in the middle, and then the whole thing is just coated in chocolate. So it's just kind of like this cake sandwich.
I guess.
Yeah, well, and like that's kind of what she made.
Sandwich.
A Jalooey.
It's like Joss Lewis is how it's pronounced, but everyone calls it Joe Louis.
Makes me think of Parmesan.
Yeah. I just eat a muffin normal from left to right. You
don't eat it through the middle like normal people?
No, I start with where I bite into and I end where the opposite side of where I bit into.
I could just see you drilling like a hole in the middle of the muffin and then adding that banana and be like, now it's right. Now it's complete.
You do have something there. Or banana chopsticks. And I just like eat it that way. And I just
that wouldn't work. The banana would break. I guess if you were to like use the banana while the peel is on, that could work.
Or you have the most unripe, like tart bananas ever.
Oh
you stick a chopstick through it and be like, now it's a muffin on a stick with a banana.
There's this Japanese commercial of this guy who's
Why are we talking about muffins?
I don't know. But like I have to tell this story though, because it's like there's this part where this lady's like sitting on a bench and she doesn't know what to eat, and this guy who's like a giant like weird banana with like banana fingers, goes and presses his nostril and his nose, and bananas fly out of his nose. And she's like, "Thank you." And I'm like, just, Japanese commercials are so fucking weird. But now I really want a banana.
It's the sentient coffee bean from Regular Show.
Yeah.
Coffee. Just spewing coffee out of his nipples.
Well, why don't we peel back the layers of banana and ask, what is a Dorbley?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See what I did there?
Oh, yeah. Smooth transition there.
Ooh.
Basically, yes.
But
a Dorbley is a species I created basically based off of just me not really liking my old persona and characters. And I just kind of grabbed every little bit and piece from other characters I've done and characters that I like. And I just kind of put them together in an appealing enough way that is cool with me. But then enough people kept asking questions about, oh, what's this? How does he work? What does this do? How, does this kill him? Does this kill him? And Soleil, after answering all these questions, a whole like race and culture kind of came from that, and I gave it the name Dorbley. So it was just Aver, and now it's Aver the Dorbley. So they're basically created from a interdimensional being that needed to terraform a planet in order for it to appear in that planet. So they created these kind of just terraforming blobs to rearrange the planet. But then the being got stuck, and he's just like, well, I might as well give these beings sentience so I can watch them because I'm just stuck here bored. And then these like sentient blobs started like developing tribal attitudes and warring with each other and enslaving human race and all that sort of stuff. And then they got punished by their eggs no longer working by this interdimensional being that they're attached to. And they decided, okay, let's change our culture to a culture of peace. And they chose this adorable form that they have now so they're not intimidating anymore. And their whole culture and everything is just based off around like penance about how they used to be very evil. So now they're just your goofy friends that can do all this fun goopy shapeshifting stuff.
Of course.
Friends.
Yeah.
Also, if I remember correctly, you call it the Dorbley lore. You have a whole sticker for that.
Yeah, because every once in a while I get like this spark of an idea where like, because it's so fascinating how like some ideas I've had a long time ago where I really have to like think, how can I make this fit with this? For some reason, Dorbley stuff, it all just seems to make sense. Mm-hmm. So like when I get this idea, I'm like, wow, actually, yeah, that explains this, that explains that. Oh, it fits so great. So I have a sticker of me just like looking like Moses holding the 10 Commandments on Mount Cypress, going like, silence, Dorbley lore. And it'll just say something and everyone goes, ooh, interesting, neat. Very, very, very neat.
And it really just like rolls off the tongue like Dorbley lore.
Of course.
Yeah. I was, the Dorbley is just a complete accident, especially that like the short form is Dorb, and people say adorb, and they go, oh, they're an dorb. And that was complete accident. Like, I didn't plan that. So I'm like, all right, serendipitous.
And of course, with Dorbleys, there's also even more intricate, like their ages affect how big they are. There's a council. There's so much to it. Yeah,
like that's the thing. Like, I was like, okay, let's just say they live for like 150 years max, and they continuously grow as they age. So like, the kind of normal human adult sized ones they're like 20 to 30, but then the ones that are in their 90s are big chunky boys, and like by the time they're like an elder in their hundreds, they're just enormous. And I'm just thinking like King Rito or King Rudo, King Zora from from Ocarina of Time. He's just 5 times the size as everyone else. So I'm like, oh yeah, let's just make them big guys.
He literally just like sit on like a 30-year-old Dorbley and just absorb him into himself.
Yeah. Well,
I'm wiser.
well, yeah. See, then you get all these technical things that like their mass is almost like the equivalent of our blood. So if they have too much mass, it corrects itself to be their age's correct mass. And if they lose some, like just like, you know, their tail gets chopped off by an escalator door or they were in a fight or whatnot, then they're smaller. And they have to like eat and drink food. And after a couple days, they replenish that mass. So
that's interesting. So this is one of those weird like moments you had talked about before we started recording where it's like that, moment where it makes you think.
Yeah, which also, if I remember correctly, Dorbleys can transform other humans into Dorbleys as well, but there's a whole council talk, there's a whole ruling, and just so many steps of approval.
Because they know the potential that, because they were meant to be like originally like terraforming. So literally any matter can become any other matter is in their power set, but they had to have been trained to do so. So their whole like TF powers, it's the equivalent of like the force or bending, right? So like, yeah, like everyone can maybe do like the equivalent of bending a spoon, but if they want to do any like the really advanced stuff, it's decades of training, and the really, really like intricate stuff is like forbidden knowledge now. It's from the dark days that they don't talk about. So if they want to turn like a human into a Dorbley, they have to like go through like 2 years of training with some sort of Dorbley sponsor. So you have to prove that you're a Dorbley in any way, every way but physical, because they don't want to just turn a serial killer into a bulletproof goo monster, right? Or just using the TF power and making them a bulletproof immortal dragon, because that's also in their
or
skills.
Just a chair.
Or the Dorbley be evil and just turn people into chairs permanently or whatever. So like they have all these laws and rules, and it's like if you've illegally TF something or someone, you're like put to death or banished. Like it's serious stuff. And I got people going, "Oh, that's cruel. They should be able to do whatever they want." I'm like, no.
That's what causes chaos.
Yeah, like this is what makes it cool. There's all this conflict and like inner deep politics. I'm like, ooh, this is spicy. I definitely want to write a comic about this, like really expand on. There's a lot to do. And even like Dorbleys in the past had different politics than the Dorbleys now. It's like, oh my God, so ripe.
Yeah, of course. And creating your species takes a lot of work. Sorry, Space.
Oh, it's fine. I was just wondering, have you ever seen Stargate Atlantis?
No.
Have you ever seen Stargate in general, like the movie?
Well, like I had roommates at the time, like that had all the DVDs, so they were just powering through them all, and I'm I'm in the other side of the room doing animation homework. So like I had like absorbed a lot of it through just being in the room, but like I don't know the whole plot. It's just like something Gould, something.
Yeah, so that's like the main one, and then Stargate Atlantis. That's all about the Atlanteans, and then the whole like general like plot point is knowing how to ascend, and so humans ascending to a higher being. It's not necessarily heaven, but not everyone gets to ascend. You have to like meet I guess, yeah. You have to meet a specific requirement of them, and then you ascend to their level. And it's kind of like, I was thinking, I'm like, this is kind of like that, where like humans could ascend to a Dorbley level, but they have to be chosen for it, and it has to be a reason.
Well, like the one reason why they have this is because the whole backtracking slightly, the reason why they decided to be peaceful is they're in an interdimensional connection. It's called the Algon. So the Algon basically just said your eggs don't work anymore. It's a 1 in 10,000 chance of them working. So they were going to go extinct, basically. So they're like, okay, no more killing each other. We got to reboot. So there's specifically a Dorbley on the council that keeps track of how many natural births happened. And if they're low on their quota to keep their population steady, they're like, okay, we need to TF 15 more people this year.
That's
so
crazy.
They have like this like census going on. So
is there like any Pinocchio effect with Dorbleys? Like, if they lie, something happens to them, something grows bigger than it should.
Well, I mean, like I've described it as like they are like clay to themselves, so they just sculpt themselves like a muscle reflex. Okay. So like it's a personal thing. If they have a tick because of their personality, if they lie and their tail twitches away, or they form the truth out of their arm or something, like it's just a personal thing.
Makes me think of what was that show, Dewey, where he goes, I lied.
Dewey
as a tell. I forget what that show's called.
Oh, Malcolm in the Middle?
Yes, Malcolm in the Middle, where he's like,
okay,
I lied.
Well, that's cool and all. Like,
yeah,
I love when people create a species and then they create the lore behind it rather than just creating the species itself. So it's pretty neat. Is it an open or a closed species?
Well, like it's mostly open. There's like a handful of rules. Like you can't just make I'm a wolf Dorbley hybrid. Or
hybrids don't count.
Yeah, like it just kind of like keep the general vibe, but otherwise, yeah, go ahead and make one. The thing that's made it difficult is like I've done like blank character sheets so people can draw in their thing, but because they change size based off of their age, and then they all have different shaped fins. You can't just do a one drawing fits all situation.
And markings and just...
Well, like the markings can make sense where you can just color that in, but it's like, yeah, Avery's got pretty plain fins, but I've designed adopts where they have really like pretty intricate fins and designs.
Which I find your adopts adorable. They're awesome.
Yeah. I love adoptables. The only problem is I adopt and then I forget about them.
Yeah, you have a whole folder that you leave stuff in.
I do, and it's probably on one of the laptops that no longer works. So,
oh no,
yeah. So I know that I've adopted a ton, and I don't know what happened, but they were cool. I just don't know where they are. So they're kind of like adopted kids that go back to where I adopted them from.
Oh,
I mean,
so sad. Orphanage. That's what I was thinking. I couldn't think of the orphanage.
Well, here's two that don't have a home that you can add to another lost laptop. I just sent to you.
I really like the blue one.
Yeah,
The colors really work well with this.
I remember this one.
Approximately 100 years old. That's cool.
I loved the orange one. It was so cute.
So like this is what I mean. You look at the sticker above, Aver's all like our middle age, 30 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then these guys are like 100, so they're much, much bigger. So
that's a big boy.
Yeah. A lot of mass to do a lot of things to friends.
Put them in a pool, a tent, or other things.
Yeah.
Well, we could probably delve more into Dorbleys, but it's available content-wise on like Fur Affinity, I think DeviantArt.
My Fur Affinity. I literally got a folder in my gallery just called Dorbley Lore. So rather than this one massive like design Bible, it's spread out amongst like 50 pictures. So yeah.
As much as we would love to delve into it,
Yeah.
the real reason why we have you here is because you are an animator, and
Yes.
animators always are interesting because we've had animators on our show before, and each animator is different in their own way. The story is completely different. How they do things is completely different. And then seeing some of the things that you've worked on, I'm really intrigued now.
Yeah, because from what I understand, a lot of the people you've talked to have been like independent
Exactly.
or hobbyist, whereas my stuff's been on TV. Not as in like my stuff's been on TV.
Mine's on the big screen.
The allure fades after the first show gets on TV, and then it literally just work afterwards.
My show's been on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my show's on Hulu. But I've always, when it comes to animators and stuff, like I've never gotten to the core of how it all starts. Like
I actually have that, like the house moment of when I went, oh, animation, that's going to be for me.
Yeah,
really? You had that moment?
I had a moment, and it did like the magical like cue, like the little triangle ding somewhere. So I was in the fifth grade, and
so you were a youngin'.
Well, yeah, I knew from long ago, but like parallel, I was the kid that had no friends who drew comics during recess. So that was my thing. I was always doodling comics, and at some point, my dad said, "You know, if I got a scanner from my work, you could put your comics on the computer and then make them move." And
this is your dad.
Yeah, my dad just said it as in like his company got a scanner, and he just thought it was neat that you can put, because this is like 1998.
Oh god. Okay, so that's
yeah,
scanners are huge.
Yeah, it was like a new thing to have a scanner. And like, yeah, it's like you could just put it on the computer, make them move, and I just go, oh, I could make them move. It never happened, of course.
I like how your dad is the one that made that happen, though.
And my dad like hates cartoons. Like,
it's so ironic.
Like literally, he was begging for like, what's a good Indiana Jones type movie? I really have an urge for that. And I suggested the Tintin movie from like 2011. And he said he got 10 minutes in and then finally realized it was a cartoon, and he turned it off.
Oh.
I'm like, Dad, why? This is a cartoon. And like, he's the one that put that like seed in my brain. Like, I could make my drawings move. And he hates cartoons.
That's like someone who's, totally gay, watches a show, and there just happens to be a flash of women's boobs, and you turn it off. Like, I can deal with it. It's fine. Let's just move on and go to the next thing.
Like, after that, you were working hard towards it, and animation, and then going to school. How much education does that take?
Well, like that's
like a medical degree.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like
4 years of college, 4 years of something else.
Yeah, like at the time, there was one animation school in Canada that was worth anything, and it was actually one of the best in the world.
Really?
It was called Sheridan College. It's in Toronto, or Oakville, if I wanted to be more specific. And it's just like I heard. Because you'd always have those teachers like during a career day. Where do you want to do? What's your job? Do some research. And I'd always be like, animator. And they'd say, and it would inevitably come up that you have to go to Sheridan College. I'm like, oh, that's where I'm going to go. That's where I'm going to apply. And then by the time I got to the end of high school, I realized that the college in my city, Ottawa, also had an animation program. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't need to move 5 hours away. I can do it here. And I'm starting to hear like it's actually also legit. And but at the same time, I was like, I like video games. And Algonquin College, the one in my town, just started a video game design class or course. And I go, okay. And I look at the syllabus and it has like animation in it. So I figured, I could do like 3D animation plus all these other things. So I figured it was the best bang for my buck. And I took that, but I dropped out because they advertised it as like half art, half coding. I had never done any coding, but obviously I'd done the art part. And it was kind of good the first year, but then by second year, it's like I'm learning 4 programming language taught by teachers that barely speak English, and there's no art anymore. And I'm like crying myself to sleep every night. It was just awful. And I just said, I should have done animation. So I drop out, have to wait a couple months before the new school year. And I took this course called pre-animation, which is just a 1-year art course that kind of just develops your skill. And basically it just gives you a kick-ass portfolio that almost guarantees you to get into the animation program.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
And what experience like you would get from that would be helpful?
Well, it was funny. Like we did a bunch of like before and after pictures.
Before and after?
Yeah. So like a lot of these people, like I love cartoons and I love animation, but they had absolutely like no drawing skills. So this was a lot of just fundamentals to get into it. So like all those people with wide eyes and sparkly eyes, like I want to do it, but I can't draw with shit. You'd take this course and you'd learn to like how to draw backgrounds, how to do life drawing, how to do characters, how to do, a couple other things like storyboards and all that.
Posing's a bitch.
Yeah. And like some photography too. So it seemed really cool. And yeah, I graduated that and they're like, yeah, okay, you're good. Got accepted into animation. No problem.
That's awesome. I took photography in middle school and high school, and I could not. I did great, but I could not understand animation if I tried.
Because the little bit of animation we did in the game design course was like, I just animated some flour sacks in 3ds Max, and that was just like 2 assignments, and there you go. You're an animator now. It wasn't enough. And my best friend at the time was like doing my same career path, but a year ahead of me. So he did 2 years of game design, dropped out. Then he did pre-animation, but he was lazy and he didn't get into animation because this stuff was not like, didn't have the effort, but I was like passionate about it. So I really made sure. And then the animation courses, it's changed a bit. Like they talk to the studios going like, what do you need from our students for them to succeed in your studio? So the course is altered a bunch, but back then you did 1 year of traditional animation. And when I say traditional, I mean pencil and paper. You're
like flipping the pages.
Yeah, and you're flipping it. And then then you put it on this little stand, and they had Xbox 360 webcams that would take a picture of your stuff and it would assemble all the pictures and it would play.
Makes you think, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and then you got to choose for your second and third year. Do you continue with that or do you do 3D animation? Which was I regret it now, but I chose the 3D animation because I didn't feel like I loved drawing enough, and I was actually getting motion sickness from flipping. But I think that's more of the like 14-hour days to get assignments done in time.
3D animation, that would be like a Jimmy Neutron-esque type
thing. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like Pixar, like using the computer stuff. But in the background, we were also learning like the 2D animation software as just like an extra class, because that's what everyone in the industry was using at the time. So when I graduated, I was both really good at 3D and really good at this 2D animation software, both of them. Flash and Toon Boom Harmony. So when I graduated, there was 5 studios interviewing students, and I got 6 interviews. So even one that wasn't hiring saw that I was good at both softwares, and it was like, okay, we need him. And then and I waited 2 days after graduating for my first job.
For your, like, this would be like your first, was it a small job or like a big project?
Yeah, it's well, okay, backtrack slightly. My final film, because that your last year was all to do one final film.
Was that what I found on YouTube with your final college?
The Viking and the Dragon?
Yes.
And at the end of that, there's an implied romance of the dragon and the Viking, and we have pictures of their horrifying babies.
Oh my God.
So when I got an interview for Big Jump Entertainment, they said, we're working on a show right now called Brickleberry. It is like Family Guy times 10.
I love that
Brickleberry.
Yes. And he said, it's got this, this, and this, and there's even a bunch of animal sex in it. And I said, did you see my final film? And he laughed. He's like, yeah. And that was my first show, because all the other studios either required me to move across the country to like Vancouver, Kelowna, BC, or started in like November. Like I had Nelvana tell me like they really wanted me because I was good at 3D. As we got this show with princesses, and it starts in November, and like I literally had $60 in my bank account and $60,000 of credit card and student debt. I could not afford like waiting that long.
I'd like a plane ticket for $10, please.
Yeah, and it's like
you're just like holding onto the wheel of the plane.
Yeah, so like so they even said like, does that sound good to you? And I go, not at all. And like they look at each other, these two. Well, we also have another show we could probably squeeze you into, and it starts in October. I'm like, because I was like, I got no money. And then I did one other interview for a place that told me to move to Vancouver, and then I got the Big Jump, and they're like, you can start Monday. And I went, yes.
Rad.
But fucking Brickleberry.
Yep. Like I still remember my first scene was just like, what was it? The Ranger, the boss.
Ranger, yeah. The big boss who has a missing ball.
Yeah, who's voiced by Tom Kenny. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's SpongeBob's voice actor.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep. And then he's just leaning into Malloy, the bear, the guy that was the whole show was based around. Oh my God, his name just slipped out of my mind. The whole show was made by Tosh.0.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So Tosh.0's character Malloy, and it's just the Ranger dude just going, all right, you got a point.
I like how
that was my first scene, and I was
really
scared to death. And I did it in a day, because literally it was just like lean in and say a line, and the boss was like, wow, good job, you did that in a day, I'm real proud of you. Oh, yay. And then literally by my 5th, I stood out as like the guy that actually knew what he was doing. So my 5th scene was just Steve, the main character, in his underwear, holding guns, cigarettes, and a beer, shouting drunkenly, and then he just turns around, pulls off his pants, and runs off in the distance butt naked. So like
amazing.
Our school had prepared us, like, I know you want to be animators and you're passionate about animation, but your first show is probably going to be some princess shit or okay, kids, where's the triangle?
And your first show was...
And my first show was fucking Brickleberry. So like, yes.
I can't remember which character, what her name is, but I like the one that talked like this.
Oh, Connie.
Connie, yeah.
That's just my vagina growling.
Like, and then after that, Paradise PD came out. Did you have any hand in that?
No. Unfortunately, like this has happened a couple times to me where like I only worked on the first season of the show, and then it just goes to another studio. So like the other like 3 or 4 seasons of Brickleberry went to some Korean studio, and then all the other shows that are basically Brickleberry with a new skin were at some other studio or whatnot.
So is that why? So like for instance, Bob's Burgers, like the first season is very basic, and then come the second season, you can definitely tell the difference between style changes.
Yeah,
Would that be a signifier of like them switching studios?
Well, it could be a studio switch, or it could be a budget increase.
Okay,
because, I mean that makes sense. Yeah,
because it could be like, oh man, yeah, we liked your stuff. What do you need? And it's like, give us some more time to do some pre-production and prepare some assets. Let us rework the rigs. Like we've optimized the workflow, so now we can get more done.
But that still sucks that they just change companies.
Well, what was annoying was like, I remember the press releases like, and we even changed our animation studio. We didn't like the Canadians we used before, so we sent it to a really good Korean studio, and the whole audience was like, yay! And I remember watching the first episode of the new season. I'm like, this looks worse.
There are those shows.
What are they talking about? They probably like that studio because they could pay them less.
Now, as an animator, this is one of those like shoot from the hip type questions.
Yeah.
I know that like we could just say you're an animator, and that's just a blanket statement of just that's it. But what was your actual role in Brickleberry? Like, did you have a specific job title, and you specifically did this type of animation for?
Yeah. Technically, the like what I signed in the contracts was that I was a 2D character animator. Okay. And some shows have like a tier, like you're a senior 2D animator, or you're a retake animator, or you're an in-betweener, or you're a keyframe. Like, but most of the stuff is just you're an animator or you're the supervisor. There was literally no distinction. So yeah, I was just 2D character animator.
And is it just like you take like you're the animator of this particular character, or is it multiple people on a team that all works together?
Okay, yeah. So this is how it works. Like if you look at like Disney movies, they do like this person is the Belle animator, and this person is the Beast animator, and this guy was that. Yeah. And they have a team of like in-betweeners and cleanup artists and whatnot. But in TV animation, it's all about getting it done as fast as possible. So what usually happens is you'd get like a 20-second to 60-second chunk of the episode.
A good example would be like the Loud House movie that you worked on.
Yeah.
Was there a specific part that you did or character that you focused on, like Lincoln or one of the sisters?
No, like they would literally, because every animator they have a slight different style, even though they're trying to mimic the style of the show. But some people do a hand wave slightly different or a blink slightly different. So they try and give them like a 30-second chunk, and it's good enough for like how they divide up the work for pay. Give everyone a 30-second chunk, they get paid X amount of dollars, but it also gives it like a consistency. So like all for the next 30 seconds, it all animates slightly the same way. And then when it is the next 30-second chunk, it's all sort of the same way. So there's some continuity to how things move. But for like movies, like the Loud House movies, you do get like sequences, like here's 5 scenes, but near the end, they're like, there's just holes to plug in. So that's what I was hired to do for the Loud House movie. Was they just had like 100 scenes just in out of complete random order, and they just needed some extra people to come on board and just plug those holes. So that's the type of stuff I did on that movie.
Really?
But like I had worked on the show for 2 seasons before. This was just a couple years later. So like they hired me because they knew I knew the style. I had just gone to a different studio, and then they're like, "Oh, I heard you all got laid off. You need like 2 months of work. Help us finish this movie." Okay, sure.
That was because you worked on season 2 and 3 of Loud House, if I remember correctly?
No, season 1 and 2.
Season 1 and 2? Okay, yeah. Okay. I was a part. I was one who watched that show, so I knew everything about it. Besides, who worked on it.
One of those diehard fans.
Well, like
I was a diehard fan of a lot of shows.
No, what a really funny thing that happened during that time is like I kind of showed up when they were like, Loud House is ramping up. We need to do a big hire. So I was part of this like the last wave of like new hires, only because contract ended at another studio. So I wanted in a little sooner, but I got in the last wave. So I started like halfway through season 1. And then by the time that was wrapping up, they had a new show in the pipeline, and Nickelodeon was putting all their bets on this one. They're like, this is going to be the new SpongeBob. Loud House was just like a whatever show. This is the show. And guess what? I bet you've never even heard of it. It's called Pinky Malinky.
Yeah, I do know that one.
Yeah. They were just like, yes, Pinky the Malinky is the shit. So they tried to get all the people like that they could that like were like better, or the people that didn't want to leave Loud House. So like, come on, work on Pinky. So I did like almost all of Pinky, but
which was a show.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. They realized it's like, oh, this actually isn't that good. And Loud House is winning awards. So like the whatever disposable show ended up being the big success story, but the one that they put all their money into was the dud. So much so that Nickelodeon sold the rights to Netflix. So it's actually a Netflix show. It doesn't even say Nickelodeon in the credits.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was that kind of bad.
Yeah.
But quickly shooting from hip, why don't you say all the shows you worked on? Quickly skim over them what you did.
Oh, okay. Well,
because we're getting a bit tight.
Oh, okay. Like time what? Time?
No, I don't mind.
You don't mind? Then let's continue and roll on.
Okay.
And after Brickleberry, was it like Tom and Jerry or something?
Okay. Yeah.
Let's continue on timeline.
Okay.
Don't worry about time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, so if I can do them in order, I'll be impressed. So yeah, Brickleberry. And then I did a short for Cartoon Network. No, not Comedy Central about gajillionaires. So on that, I actually animated a scene with Donald Trump. But that was like, before he was famous, quote unquote. And then I did this show called Bounty Hunters, which starred the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. So Larry the Cable Guy and Jeff Foxworthy on a channel that I don't think exists anymore. And then I did this show called, this movie or short film movie special, Christmas special, Magic Hockey Skates. And then I jumped to Tom and Jerry, and I was on that for like a year and a half.
I was a major fan of Tom and Jerry as a kid.
And that was a show where we did season 1, and then season 2 went to some other studio.
Why? Cost effective.
That is a thing. That is a deep dive and a shit show that I could go on for hours. But we were subcontracted out to. But like the studio that took all the credit, what was it called? Renegade Entertainment. That Warner Brothers hired Renegade and Renegade hired us. Renegade was just terrible to us. They kept lying to us. They kept changing demands. They kept doing this and this and that.
Oh God.
Yeah. So it it made everything just chaos. So it just turned into a like, just get it done. So Warner Brothers go, oh, it didn't look as good. Must have been the Canadians' fault. Send it to the Koreans.
Oh,
It's always the Koreans there.
Well,
For so far that you said.
no offense to the
Well,
No
Koreans
offense.
in general.
well, I haven't finished the story because now it slowly turns into Indians.
What?
Anyway, so after Tom and Jerry, you can circle back and ask for clarification. I'm trying to do the abridged life story here. But after that, then I worked on a film. It was my first film for Donald Sutherland. Called Pirate's Passage. Most boring movie you've ever watched, but if you watch it with me, you get the director's commentary and it's hilarious. And that was the first time that I wasn't officially labeled anything special, but like I was one of the more senior animators. And we call ourselves like Team Suplex or something, like Suplex Uppercut Squad or something. It changed every time. And then after that, I worked on this show called Freak Town. And it's like the cute teddy bear people are evil and the zombie skeleton monsters are the good people. A lot of dumb, gross out humor. That's another shit show. And then after that show was done, that's when I jumped onto the Loud House, then did Pinky Malinky, then back to Loud House. And then Final Space.
Which, an amazing, amazing show. Wish they would continue.
Yeah. That was season 1, then got shipped to another studio for season 2 and 3. And then I worked on DC Superhero Girls, the Lauren Faust version.
I know which version you're talking about. I'm like, that show was a weird twist on DC superheroes.
Yeah, that show. And then I went and did
Got your princess. You got your girly show.
Yeah, and then I did Cyber Chase season like 12 or 13 or whatever.
Cyber Chase is still ongoing now. Even I'm like, why is it so long of a show? It's just math.
Well, now it's about the environment.
Which that just makes me angry. I'm sorry.
And then after that, I did my second movie called Lamia's Poem. It's about the Syrian refugee crisis. That was COVID had hit at this point. And then when I finished that show, I worked on this other show briefly that was paying us below minimum wage.
Oh, shit.
And eventually the studio had to surrender the contract. And then I lost my job for a bit.
Became a freelancer for a bit?
No, I was then I was on the Ghost and Molly McGee.
Which I love that show, but I'm guessing you only worked on it for a season.
I only worked on it for about 4 months, and then I got fired from it. And then I was on a. I'll almost done the story. You can dive. Yeah. Then I got fired from that. Then I was unemployed for like 7 months, and then at the same time I got hired as a professor at the animation college I went to, and then part-time on another show called Zoki or Planet Zoki or Ruby of Planet Zoki. The name changed a bunch of times. And then when that was done, the little bit of that last Loud House movie, and I've been unemployed for over 2 years. So, yeah.
So when you work for a studio, are you contracted for a certain amount of time?
Yeah.
Or
they basically, like, their schedule says 8 months, but like, or for example, 8 months, but it always goes late. So it ends up, we have to sign like another contract saying like, okay, we have you for another 3 months, because that's what they feel they need to finish the project. And that's how I got fired from Molly McGee. They didn't feel I was producing, so they just didn't want me to sign the new contract. So I wasn't fired. I was just, we don't want you anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
And yeah, it's because of the challenges of my my special needs daughter. I was doing a lot of like having to leave for emergencies to pick her up from like daycare and school. So I just wasn't producing the numbers they wanted for what they were paying me. So
And of course, it's all about the numbers.
yeah,
in this type of
yeah.
field.
So the studio that had Ghost and Molly McGee was Mercury Filmworks, and they are like the best in town for quality. So like some of the shows that they've done was that Tangled show, Lion Guard, Hilda,
Ooh, I liked
Atomic
Hilda.
Puppet, like a lot of the stuff that you know is like it's still the puppet style animation or the cutout style of animation, but you're like, oh man, this is good. It was probably done by them. So I was really happy to work for this studio on my first Disney show, but like unfortunately, just for what they were paying me, I wasn't doing the numbers. So I don't blame them, but like my supervisor understood, but the CEO, just looking at an Excel document was like, nah.
They're looking at
Look at the
numbers.
Yeah.
And what hurt was they were still like advertising on Facebook. We're looking for animators. Meanwhile, I was, fired. I was an animator.
That sucks.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably think that like animators are like superstars, but it's kind of like a mix. It's, it's not all what it's made up to be.
Yeah, like
unless you're just like a superstar in your field and you have no obligations in life whatsoever.
Yeah, that's like the real dark side of it all, because like you're kind of expected to do overtime and like put your all into it, but then also network and schmooze with the people. So like because of like my ex-wife was having like medical issues during pregnancy, I had to like go home and help her a lot. And this is during Final Space. So at the beginning, they were giving me all these cool, amazing Final Space stuff. But because I couldn't be there, put in those like 50 or 60-hour weeks, they just gave me like okay, we just need Gary to stand there and talk for 10 seconds. I didn't get any of the cool stuff by the end of it. They were just giving me like the junk stuff. And that doesn't help your demo reel. Yeah. And that I was like that really reliable guy that can do this, this, and that. And then I slowly turned into the just give them whatever. And that just made me stagnate. I couldn't advance in my career because I couldn't do that extra 110%. And the people that could, like, they have their own shows now. They're directors. They are hosting award ceremonies, like fellow classmates. I'm like, it's a little frustrating, but like none of these people are assholes that don't deserve it. They all worked hard and they're great people. But it's like, if things were just slightly different, like, and I was always chasing like the show that paid the most, like I could have been on that Clone High reboot.
Really?
Yeah. But I had left to work on this movie, Lamia's Poem, because it paid better, but I would have been like had more like recognition if I had done the Clone High show. I was like, oh,
it's what decisions you made, but also I still feel like people would see you and your animation even now and say you're still gold in a rough that people would pick you out of if it just had the right people seeing it,
See, there's a difference. Like, it's a big fish, small pond. Like me posting my stuff in the furry community, I'm rare. And they go, oh, that's interesting. Oh, you're an animator. Ooh. But like Ottawa had like 6 studios, and each studio had like 50 to 100 or even 200 people working on. And all these people were around my skill level or better. So like the talent was insane. So like you had to be really good and put in the time to like advance. And like, so outside of that scene, yeah, sure. I people think I'm awesome and they see the talent, but like in the normie world, I was like, it's just like a B plus, just good, but not the chosen one. I was like, yeah, okay.
It's kind of like how writers work with, television studios. They switch them out so often, and I feel bad because it's like they work probably really hard on the stuff that they do, and then just get cut. And then comes the new season, new writers, and it's like if you just kept these writers, it would be more consistent.
Yeah, so and a lot of the artists and other departments, not just animation, they are like in their first 2 years, they are like almost worked to death, and it's just the people that survive keep going, and the people that couldn't cut it, they go, so okay, I can't do it, and they go work back at Walmart or on the dad's farm or something. And yeah,
does it kill your passion or your spirit, or do you just kind of go, it is what it is, and I just got to move on?
Like, yeah, it just sucks that it was always just a struggle for money, because you'd have like a scene that you really could put your passion into and it looks really cool. And you're like, oh man, this is great. I love animation. All these big and small details. It's amazing. But then you're like, oh, but this thing was worth $50. Yeah. Sorry, I should clarify. Like back in the day, we were paid by the frame. So,
by the frame?
Yes.
By the frame.
Yes.
So what would like a hypothetical frame rate be?
Well, see, yeah, that was the thing. Like you're always chasing the frame rate or the rare show that paid hourly. Ooh.
Oh my
God. So like, yeah, like say like Tom and Jerry, I think it started off as like $1.25 Canadian per frame. So about maybe like 90 cents or whatnot.
What?
Yeah. But you were given like 1,000 frames to do a week. So
that's a lot, though.
Yeah, but see, they counted like the holds. So if it was just like Tom like shaking his head and then looking off into the screen, you'd animate like the 1 second of him shaking his head, but then him just looking off the screen for 2 seconds, you still got paid for that. So it kind of balanced out. So like the Loud House had a lot of people standing still and all that was moving was just their face. And you get a lot of money for that. But then you get a scene with all the sisters and then suddenly it's like, okay, yeah, sure. All they're doing is talking and blinking, but it's like times 10.
Because so there was like 10 sisters in that show. There was a ton.
Yeah. So it's like suddenly something that would take you only an hour to do times 10. So it took you like a day and a half to do, and it was only worth $50. But then they try to balance it out. So you get like a scene of Lincoln just talking about something for 600 frames and you get the money on that. But a lot of times it didn't work out. And you're like, oh, all right.
How long does it take to animate a 30-second clip?
It does depend on what's happening. Like, because if it's just one character just sitting there asleep, like you could do that like in a day and you've suddenly made $1,000. But those were always super rare and uncommon. But like generally they tried to make it so it kind of seemed like you were making like an above minimum wage job. Like if you average it all out, like something like $20, $25 an hour. But yeah, so I know like my record is I did one on Tom and Jerry that was 47 seconds long.
Jeez.
Yeah. And it took me a week to do, and then about half a week to do all the fixes. So that was basically like a 2 weeks worth of work that I had done in like about a week and a half. So that so like I brought home a paycheck of like $2,400. I'm like, yeah, that's good.
But to adjust the topic slightly to back cheery, your own work, your own specifications of your animation that you do yourself, and even your own pilot show. What was it about? I'm trying to remember the name.
The Stinkies?
Yes.
The Stinkies.
Which, by the way, I do not recommend you searching on YouTube because it pulls up exactly what you think it would.
There's literally nothing online about it except for like one picture on my old DeviantArt account. So if you remember way back at the beginning of the podcast, I mentioned that I was that kid that just drew comics in this for recess. The Stinkies was my superhero team that I drew comics on. It was a superhero team called the Stinkies. So you had Sock Man, Snot Man, Puke Man, Crap Man.
Crap Man.
Yeah, he was the leader. He was Crap Man. And they were a superhero team. And then there was another one, Snot Man's sister joined, but she wasn't Stinky themed, so she was Long Limbs. She had stretchy limbs. I'm like 11, right? So the naming convention wasn't that amazing. And then like I did like 12 books, and each book was like 50 pages. So I did a whole bunch. Like I had no friends. And then by the time I got right at the end of elementary school, or I guess for you guys, junior high or whatever, I started the Stinkies 2.
Whatever year that was, -2, and that was my age.
Yeah, so I did the Stinkies 2. So I added in a couple more members. So there was Skunk Man, there was Peep. So it was P, but with a hyphen and then P's. She was made of P. She was made of P.
I thought it was like, like the Peeps.
No. She was technically my first Goo character because she was made of P and had all the shape-shifting stuff.
Oh no,
that's amazing.
And then my favorite character from that new thing was Corpse Man. It was just literally a dead guy that just kept, out of coincidence, kept following the group around. So there's usually like a come on team, let's go, and I'd have like a picture of them all running off towards to save the day, but then there's just like some random vulture picking up Corpse Man, or a car had hit his body and he was just flying up
hilarious.
So to bring it to the pilot question, I have like dozens of ideas for shows. That was my thing. I loved creating ideas and characters and shows and whatnot, but they're always like really big. Like when I was talking about Dorbleys, there's a lot of lore and stuff like that. So if I was to make a show for Dorbleys, it would be like Avatar: The Last Airbender budget, right? So I'm like, what do I have in my back catalog that's simple? And I could do that as my first show. And then I can ask for the blank check from producers. And the Stinkies was it. I'm like, let's bring back the Stinkies. I am now not a child. So, and I was going full, like full commitment to it. So I was starting to get a pitch package, what they call, set up, and a design Bible. And like, I had like the first 12.
What's a design
Bible?
It's just basically like, if you were to like hand off the show to someone else, they would know what to do.
Oh.
Like how the style of the characters would go, how like the humor is going.
It's like Dorbley lore almost.
Well, the Bible is the lore because it includes like everything about it. The design is just more of like here's what it would look like a sizzle reel, but as a couple pictures.
Like if I were to say a ref sheet, how they have different expressions, body styles.
Yeah, so you'd have like a ref sheet and a quick description of what you had. And then they'd be like, okay, I want to see more. Then you'd hand the design Bible type deal. So I had like first couple episodes planned out. I even had the first episode completely voice acted by me and my roommates. And I was starting to do the storyboards for it. But then I realized, you know what? This is going to be like a 22-minute episode, like a full half-hour thing. Let's tone it down. Let's do a quick 6-minute thing, because I was thinking of like the time investment. So I just wanted something shorter. So I started over again, and then eventually I'm like, okay, let me show what I have to my boss at the time, because I was in the animation studio, and he loved it. He's like, I want to see more. But like, then money got tight, timelines like to work got, so I haven't touched it in like 10 years, like really. And like, I pitched other ideas to the same boss. He's like, I love it. It's good. Let me see more. And it's just, I never had the time to work on it because there's a lot of free work you have to do.
It's a lot of effort. And more or less, is it a question of will it actually be picked up? Kind of
Well,
thing?
and then I got the golden opportunity. There was a project called StarToon where it was literally like, it was almost like American Idol, but for animators, where you pitched your own
cool.
character and they gave you challenges. So you animated the character to the challenge, and the winner of this whole contest got a show.
Now that's cool.
Yeah. So they did it for 2 seasons. I participated on both 2 seasons. And in the first season, I got 10th place.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it was very furry coded because it was, the show starred this girl named Casey, and she woke up every day as a different animal. And she just had to deal with it. Like, she's like, "Oh, I invited my boyfriend to the dance," and she wakes up the next day as a fucking ostrich. She's like, "Fuck." It wouldn't have been that. It would have been for kids, right? She'd be like, "Oh no," or she wakes up the next day as like an oyster or something, right? It wasn't.
Oh my god!
It wasn't just like the ABC animals. It was like the entire animal kingdom.
Oh my goodness!
And it was just going to be like outrageous, and like it became clear that like I got as far as I did because I just sucked less. Like, they wanted the easy peasy like SpongeBob clone that would cost them more money. And I was pitching something with a little bit higher concept, and the challenges they gave me, it didn't really show what the show was going to be. So eventually I got kicked out. And then I tried again with season 2. Yeah, season 2 with a gecko character named TK, and he was trained as a ninja by like Tibetan monks, but then he became a pet, and he just obsessively listened to what his owner said. So if she was like, "Oh man, I wish I had some ice cream right now," at night he would sneak out of his cage and like break into like an ice cream factory.
Oh god,
that's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah. So like he was just like, but he wanted to be secret about it. So like, and like, no matter how outrageous like the thing that his owner wanted, he had to do, because that was his training, right? And like, and then the plot also was like the neighbor had a pet snake who was also trained at this like monk thing, but he was evil. So he had like, there was this evil snake that I based off of the bad guy from Demolition Man, Wesley Snipes' character. So he had
oh my god, crazy
a snake with the blonde pompadour.
Not
and
the
like
pompadour.
And I was just like, had all these plans, but then they're like, eh. And I got like 20th place. They didn't like it as much.
Even blink an eye.
Jeez,
like,
that's just
and that was like hundreds of hours, and like apparently a lot of resentment in silent from my ex-wife, because I was staying up till like 4 a.m. getting stuff done for the time limits rather than spending time with her. And once that ended, I lost all opportunity and kind of drive to make stuff, because just I know I don't have the time and energy anymore. So I have all these ideas that I can put out in piecemeal, like Dorbleys with the Dorbley lore folder on Facebook or Fur Affinity. But as far as like sitting down and really doing what I want to do, like a show or a comic, it's just, yeah, I've been burned too much. So it's just tough.
That's why you need an apprentice, someone you can start teaching,
or like meth. Something to give me a huge burst of energy.
Oh my god! I've been sick of first.
Just an Aver Dorbley smacks his paw on the table full of cocaine.
It's like, yeah, it's just like, I need energy in order to draw for the next 37 hours straight. Like, back in college, I was doing 18-hour days living off of Monster energy drinks and the 5-hour energy shots.
Like, I can't do
that. Like, that's what I had to do to get the shit done. And it's like, now that I'm like almost 40, I cannot do these things anymore.
Caffeine has an opposite effect on me. I get tired instead of energetic.
How? That doesn't make any sense.
Fucking ADHD, baby.
My maximum caffeine intake, just in general for a day, is 300. I don't go beyond that. And I have to consume it before noon because if I go any further beyond that, I won't sleep.
Yeah. The caffeine now is not for late night work hours. It's I'm a part-time single dad and I need the dad energy.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. Yeah. Just to exist in the morning. But it's like the mind is there, the body isn't. The body has herniated discs and repetitive strain injuries and, and stuff like that. But
my God, I got a herniated disc like a month and a half ago.
That was my summer.
It sucked.
Yeah, I'm changing diapers, screaming like Duke Nukem about to die. I don't know why that was my reference. Just this like while I'm trying to change diapers.
I like how I'm the young one here and haven't experienced that yet, but will at one point.
Yeah, I was once youthful and had hair and no gray hairs and no crow's feet and was 100 pounds lighter. But no, I'm now old, bald, eyes don't work.
It's like one of the reasons why I color my hair is because all the gray hairs that grow in. And then this guy's like, you should grow out your beard. I'm like, you don't want me to grow out my beard. It looks great at first because it's nice and red, which is the opposite of what the top of my hair would be, which is naturally brown. But then it grows in all these gray like things. And I'm like, I hate it. I can't stand looking at it.
My first year of animation, I didn't shave for a year. So I had a year.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And, but then my mom said I looked like a homeless person and she couldn't love me anymore.
Oh, no.
So I had to choose my mother's love or a beard.
Now you have a beard.
Well, I've always had a beard. But it was like the fact that I just never trimmed it. I just let it go. I was aiming for it to be long enough that I could braid skulls into it because
oh my God,
I was very closeted furry, but outwardly like Viking. So
you could totally do like the whole jingle beard thing where you have like ornaments hanging.
Well, yeah, like it's like my friends were like, "Can I braid it yet?" And I'm like, "No, not quite. A couple more months." And then mom's like, "I can't love you anymore when you look like a homeless person."
Good Lord.
Good Lord.
Sorry, Mom.
So where are you nowadays? Are you still animating?
Well, thanks to a Windows update, my cracked copy of Toon Boom Harmony no longer works and can never work again. So I was doing animation commissions like sporadically along with the other ones, but now I can't. So I have to plan a month around. I'm probably going to do my December might be a animation month because you can buy the program on a monthly subscription, which is $250, by the way.
Jesus
a month?
Christ.
Yeah, if I want to buy it for 3 years, so even there's no permanent thing, it's $2,000 for 3 years.
Yeah,
but that's a gut punch.
Yeah.
But studios get a bulk discount. So if I got a job at the studio, I'd be like, "Can I have a copy for home?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure, here you go." And I could use that for commissions, but no studio.
Your copy that you had no longer works.
Yeah, I was using that, but apparently cracked copies of that are so rare. I remember one of my teachers on his hands and knees begging us if any of us had heard through the grapevine of a copy of Harmony that can be cracked, let him know. So it's a thing. So the fact
what do you
that
mean by cracked?
As in like pirated.
Oh, okay, free. That's the term.
Yeah, as in like the crack that eliminates the activation check.
Crack snot noise.
Yeah.
Just not to like break the moment here, but I've got this like crappy water bottle in my hand and I totally realized I didn't have the cap on it.
Oh, no.
And I go to shake it just now and it just splashes everywhere. And I'm like, I don't really have anything to wipe it up with, so it's just going to sit there for a bit.
It's the aquarium cat all over again.
I've done that. I've done stuff like that.
Oh. Well, have you found like a mirror version of Toon Boom?
No, it's one of those things where it's like it's got a lot of like
Proprietary
decks and stuff like that. And like I did buy this other animation software called Moho, and I need to learn it.
That's a name.
Yeah.
Is it MOHO or MOJO?
H, I think. But like again, it's not going to be profitable because I have to spend like 2-3 weeks mastering the program, rewiring all the muscle memory. So it's one of those things where it's like,
It's like going from Photoshop, learning how to like draw and graphic in Photoshop, and then trying to use its mirror program, GIMP, which just does the complete opposite of everything. So you have to like relearn it. And I'm like, I'm not relearning.
Well, like the whole
shit
problem
again.
is like you can charge what you charge because you have the muscle memory and like you can speed through it. Like people are paying for your efficiency. And when you've lost that efficiency, and if you're trying to charge for by the hour, kind of like what I do, suddenly because you're awkward and suck at the program, you're charging someone double. That doesn't seem fair. So you have to invest in that time to get used to the program. And when you're living not even paycheck to paycheck, but commission to commission, you can't afford that stuff.
So is most of your commission, are you working mostly on
Yeah,
commissions
basically, I am living in a friend of the family's basement at friend of the family rate and living off my commissions. So like the people commission me and it goes directly to my daughter's food. So like I'm not some artist that's scamming people or buying a second house. It is me struggling to keep me and my daughter healthy and alive. So,
well, maybe something will come along. You never know.
well, yeah, and like the thing, I do have a queue. Like I do have people, but then you get a hit of depression, and then or a herniated back, and then you can't work for a couple weeks. That doesn't help.
Or someone pushes you towards a certain comic.
Yeah.
So I've heard down the grapevine that you used to be a professor. Can we talk about that?
By grapevine, you mean me mentioning it super, super quick?
No one needs to know.
in his rant of talking.
Or I think it is in my LinkedIn, and I think you probably looked at my LinkedIn. Well,
yeah, you totally called me out on that because I'm like, I was doing a deep dive, and I'm like, oh damn, this guy's got tons of work under his wing here.
And-
so.
oh, okay, well, wow, that's impressive. You know my deep secret of being a professor.
Hey,
No.
you told me about that like the very first day we met about you being a professor. So I have no slapback about that.
Well, see,
Look, the listeners don't need to know how I got this information.
you found a guy in the alley, gave him a paper bag with some money in it.
He opens up his coat pocket and he's like, I got a secret for you.
Aver the Dorbley used to be a teacher for 4 months. Anyway,
He was hiding in a pickle barrel, and I found him and gave him a teaching job.
Oh my god!
all right. Yes, I was. I've always wanted to be a professor because I like teaching about animation, but like it never lined up. Like I was always in the middle of the contract, and of course, the teachers that were there liked being there. But because of COVID, they split up. Instead of having 2 classes, they had like an awkward third one just to make the classes smaller. So they just had this awkward, like vestigial class that they needed someone to just finish up the first year animation with. So they needed someone, and I was unemployed thanks to being laid off from Molly McGee. And I was like, yeah, me. And they hired me before I even knew the pay. Like they just like, yep, here you go. You got the job. You start in like a month. What?
That just makes me think of how it's just Aver being like, me, holds up signs, arrows pointing at himself. We can go like, woo!
Well, like I didn't even know like what the syllabus was, like like how it worked, and they were just like, yeah, here you go, blah blah blah. So I was really thrown in the deep end, sort of, but like I was all for it. And literally like my first day of class, because yeah, it was hybrid. It was like 1 day in person, and then 2 classes were over Zoom. There's some leftover COVID stuff. And I'm like, hello, everybody. I'm Bradley Weaver. You can call me Brad. I did my spiel on like how I became an animator, what shows I've worked on. And then I go, and yes, if you search my name and you do even the slightest bit of digging, you will find out that I am a furry. And
nice. I love that you just start with that.
Well, like, I mean, so they don't like, some people don't get surprised if they search me. And also, I guess it's just a fun thing. It's like, yes, I am a furry.
It doesn't help that your YouTube profile has your literal furry persona on it.
Yeah. Yeah. But like the account is like named after my old first persona from 2005. It's very weird. But anyway, they're like, they seemed rather accepting. A couple of them had even done some furry commissions. I don't think anyone was a furry, but they were enough. But then someone said, it's okay. We'll only judge you if your persona's a wolf.
Oh my God. That or a fox.
Or a very dragon or a wagon.
Like the most default, right? So I'm like, okay, haha, continue the lesson. And then only one of the students actually bothered to find my fur affinity or whatnot. And he kind of, in the class Discord that I wasn't part of, I think he sent like a couple pictures or a quick description. And then I actually take this as a huge compliment because I'm kind of jealous of some people that can make their persona look like them in real life, or vice versa. They look like their persona, or they just really, really embodied it. And Aver is a skinny, shiny, like lizard salamander, and I am a gigantic man. I should be a bear as my persona, but I am not. So
come join the party.
Yeah. So I took this as a huge compliment when someone said, "Oh yeah, you're like some shapeshifter guy or whatnot." I can see it. And from that, I can see it. I knew she was implying the fact that how I speak is so animated that if I could be shapeshifting while I talk, I would be.
That's awesome.
So it wasn't a physical thing. It was a personality thing. And that was such validation to me because that is why I like the whole liquid shapeshifting. Yes, there's all this kinky stuff around it, but I like the creativity and like just the movement and like what the freedom and what you can do with it. And the fact that I got some random student from knowing me from like one class could associate me with my persona. And that was actually, I will hold that forever. Like it was such validation. I love that.
That is so lovely to hear, honestly.
But I was also kind of awkward as a teacher. And I'm sure all those kids are not as good as they could have been because of that. Because like I didn't explain things the best, but I did get a little review. I got like 4.5 out of 5 stars for how good your professor was. So I'm like, yeah. I did have to fail 2 students.
Oh shit.
Like one guy just didn't really participate, and another guy just always had excuses for why he didn't hand in the assignments. And he actually sat down. I felt for the kid. Like he was funny. He had some passion, but just stuff kept happening to him. And he did sit down with me. He's like, what do I need to do to pass? And I go, you need to do at least 4 of the assignments that you didn't do and get an A on them in a week.
Jeez.
I was like, oh. And these are all assignments that you need to put like 40 hours into. So it wasn't a possibility.
Which that makes me think of a little tidbit. My mom's dad is a college math professor and failed her. He didn't care that he was family. He just went, "You failed," in front of the whole class.
That'd be like going to my brother's, because my brother's a professor at a university, and it's like history. And I love history, but I'm like, if you failed me, I would be honored. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to do it again because I learned quite a bit, and it got me out of such a funk as well. And they asked me to come back and teach again, but the studio that I was also working at part-time was offering full-time at $10 more an hour.
Ooh, family professor.
So I was like, sorry, I'm just gonna decline and work on the show, making a lot of money. This Zoki show.
But still, that's an amazing job to have.
Well, yeah, like it was really cool, and like it was just something I always wanted to do because I love talking about animation. Like honestly, like if we had like more time, and you just be like, why is learning the bouncing ball an important part of animation? I'd be like, all right, guys, let's get into this. Everything's the bouncing ball, and I would just go on this whole thing.
But if you had to like just shorten that down, what is the concept of the bouncing ball?
Okay. Well, how can I show it? It is the first assignment that you always do because literally everything is the bouncing ball.
Like if I had to guess, it's like the different ligaments of the body. Imagine as a ball moving in succession with one another.
That's like what results of it, but like just how you need to treat everything is the bouncing ball, because the bouncing ball teaches you like movement and weight and like arcs and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of animations, like if there's a scene where a character's like running towards camera, flipping and jumping and whatnot, an actual like real like serious animator would animate it as a ball first, just to get the weight and the momentum and the movement perfect, and then put a person in the place of the ball.
Oh, that makes sense.
It would be like asking an animator to show you the difference between a ball hitting a bat and a basketball hitting the hoop, because those are two different types of balls, and they're going to do two different
and like second year when I switched to 3D, we had a review of the bouncing ball, and we had the assignment: animate a ball hitting the ground if it was a bowling ball, or sorry, a cannonball, a beach ball, or a rubber ball.
Oh, there's
and we had to you had to animate it. It was literally the same ball, but because of how we animated it, it portrayed different weight, different speeds, all because of how you did it.
Because if you were to drop any one of those, the impact might squish the ball more than like the other one, or it might not do anything, but it impacts the ground.
Exactly. And then from that ball, you need to extrapolate it as maybe a torso, as the legs, as the head. When people blink, the eyes squish and stretch like the ball. Like it's literally the source of everything. It's the midichlorians.
It's the basic foundation of animating, isn't it?
Yeah,
okay.
like
it's the most simple, but it's also the most complex at the same time.
Okay, Aver, you have to make space a ball now.
I mean, the next step after the ball was the flour sack. And that is why so many characters are pear-shaped, because that is the flour sack.
The flour sack.
We go from the ball to the flour sack, and I know exactly where my mind went.
There must be two flour sacks.
Why is it called the flour sack?
Because in the 1930s, when Preston Blair was drawing the first animation book, he demonstrated everything as a flour sack, because that was what was jelly bean or pear-shaped at the time.
Oh, like a sack of flour.
Yeah, what were you thinking?
I was thinking like actual flour that had some sort of sack on it. And I'm like, what demented person would create this concept?
A burlap sack filled with
like
flour.
a flour actually having a balls, you know?
Are you thinking Plants vs. Zombies space?
No. I'm picturing like the creepy flowers from like the original Alice in Wonderland cartoon.
Oh God!
But they have like nut sacks.
Nope.
Not in my nightmares.
But also, all animators are monsters. We had a folder in one of our studios called the Wall of Shame, where we would just do edits to animation that made them very NSFW. Or just violent.
Amazing.
And some of my best were the movie Pirate's Passage with Donald Sutherland, because the story starred an old man and a little boy.
Oh no!
No. Oh no!
So there's a lot of stuff like that.
Oh God, that makes me think back of Brickleberry, the very first episode. The bear got placed on a stick.
Mm-hmm.
That show was genius.
Very much.
Every single woman that was hired left that show because it was too offensive for them.
Oh no!
And they went.
I mean, it's like this, like you said, it's like The Simpsons, but like 10 times worse, or Family Guy, but like 10 times worse.
Like one of my good friends was a hardcore feminist, and she had to like animate a woman being slapped in the face.
No offense, but that's kind of hilarious.
Well, like,
under the context, though, it would make sense.
Oh yeah, just like, wow, you're a real life black man. Can you bitch slap me? And Denzel's like, see the shit I need to deal with. Psh, slaps this woman, and like that was her week. Like animate that.
Oh my God!
She's like, no. The next studio has another studio has a Cat in the Hat project opening up. I'm going to work on that show. And yeah, every woman quit and moved to Cat in the Hat at a different studio when it was available.
Understandable. I mean,
yeah.
it totally makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, if you're going to work for a show like this and you've read the concept and you understand what it is, you kind of knew what you were getting into.
Well, you kind of didn't, because I wasn't taught how to animate a killgasm. But I had to animate a killgasm in Brickleberry.
I can't remember. What is a killgasm?
When they have an orgasm after they've murdered.
Oh my God. Some things that you animate you just never think of.
Yeah, like you learned walk cycles, you learned like eye darts and head tilts, but you don't learn how to animate someone orgasming from a helicopter holding a sniper rifle.
What was your favorite thing to animate that was so out there you had to research into it?
Oh,
that could be good. That's a good question.
We didn't really have a lot of time. Most of the shows was like go, just like make it work. But that Pirates Passage movie since it was a movie, we actually had time to do stuff, and we actually did some video reference, and that was really fun to do.
Really?
And and a lot of the research was done before I joined on. It was all pre-production, but we did have one day I got to animate this fun Viking fight sequence because I was all Viking at the time, and I had like plastic training swords. And I had filmed a couple scenes of me like using the swords, and there was one shot where the camera follows a Viking running down the ship, and it was just me running down the street and someone in their truck in the parking lot following me, and someone else leaning out the window with the digital camera filming me run with this sword. And like it wasn't research, but it kind of was, because we were researching like the movement
perspectives.
Yeah. That's amazing though.
And I love doing that. Like there was another thing where like it was weird. My director was a very, very small man. So he got to play the kid character.
Oh no.
It was like, sorry, Jamie, you're a small man, but very nice guy. I always had my back. But there was a scene where the kid is trying to rescue the old man, Donald Sutherland's character, from drowning, and they do a give me your hand, and they grab each other's hand, and we didn't quite know how to do that with it looking exhausted and really desperate. So we filmed it, and it was just my hand reaching out for him, and he did like this big smack, grab my hand, and I'm going frame by frame to figure out how to do it. And now I know for one frame, my skeleton moved to the side, but my fat stayed in the spot it was. For one frame, it dragged. If you, I'm explaining this bad because you're not laughing.
No, you're fine. No, I just like listening to you talk. It's just,
you're imagining me shape-shifting while I'm doing it, right?
Yeah.
But I just found it like my fat lagged one frame behind the rest of my arm. So I'm like, oh, okay.
You're saying that to a bear.
But see, I had to do that with the character's coat. The coat had to
lag.
Wait, now I remember. We actually did have to research something. We spent days trying to find something that crazy Donald Sutherland said, because he stopped production basically because he wanted the character to tie the specific knot, because there was a lot of maritime nautical Navy stuff in there.
God, Boy Scouts.
And like, he didn't know the name of the knot, but it had to be this knot. So my director was researching videos of knots for days to get me video reference, and he could not find it. It's like Donald Sutherland had made up a knot, and it had to be this knot. So I kind of guessed it.
Very naughty of you.
Yeah.
What did it end up being?
It was like this weird loop that like other people have gone like, I don't know what this is. So it's like I can't even describe it, where he just kind of does like a lasso around this post, does a little twist, and does another lasso around it. Something like that. Like, I'm describing it bad, but like
that
it
sounds...
specifically had to be that knot. And like, and it awkwardly cut so that it could have the scene. Like the character's walking towards this post and then instantly teleports to it to do this knot, and then starts to leave, and then instantly teleports to the other end of the dock to help this captain, just so that this knot that Donald Sutherland didn't know what it was called, but it had to be in there, could be in it. It was very awkward, and it was like the last thing I did on that movie before we wrapped up production. So there you go.
I was thinking of the ball, not the balls.
Just the ball. You're thinking naughty space.
Single flower sack
thing. Yeah, single flower sack.
You're thinking naughty tonight space, aren't you?
It's always like this. So I imagine also that with that kind of concept, you would also need to understand action and reaction as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like, for instance, punching a wall, like, would you ever need to like reference, would someone need to reference like watching, I don't know, someone punching the wall or doing an action like that to understand how to animate that so it looks legit?
Well, see, that's one of the things of the style of the show dictates things, because sometimes they just like do it cartoony, it doesn't matter, but then sometimes they do want it to react properly.
Makes me think.
And then you also need to like, how heavy is it? Is he actually punching the wall, or is he punching like a person? Like, there's all these factors that you need to go into that determine how anything looks.
Not like, you know, anime where it's like over the top, you know?
Well, see, like our school was almost like religiously anti-anime.
Oh God, no.
Like they they appreciated the artistry of it all.
It's a different style.
But yeah, they were going more Disney Western style with like weight and like actions and reactions, like you were saying, like anticipation, overshoots, settles. Like they're doing all this stuff that anime does not do. Even when they get their kick-ass animators do a fun fight scene and there is a bit of like straining and movement and weight, it is not how like a Western person would do it.
Yeah, it's like if you were falling from a balloon, you know, or you know, just falling from the sky, Western would make it look like it was a splat. But if it was anime, it would be like this huge ass crater created by this one tiny person, and it looks like a freaking atomic bomb went off.
Well,
yeah.
More that, but also more like one of our teachers was talking about how much he hated Final Fantasy Advent Children.
Why?
Because there's no weight in it. Like Cloud, I haven't watched it in years. I have to watch it now, but like he's falling from like 100 stories up from like this big climactic battle near the end, and he just lands on the ground, presumably going terminal velocity, and he just like he like his knees barely move when he lands on the ground, and then he catches the sword like it weighs nothing. Just where
that would be visually frustrating for me to watch, because you would expect it to be an impact.
It become the sword and the stone. Just
it's also one reason why, if you've never been able to describe why like motion capture stuff looks odd to you, that's why, because they're not wearing the costumes or using the props that they're using in the cartoon or movie or game. So going back to the Final Fantasy, if you watch that Final Fantasy Spirits Within movie, they're all carrying gigantic like aliens style guns. But in the motion caption studio, they were just holding hockey sticks.
Right, because it just needs to track a movement.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily need to be the actual
Yeah,
object.
but so like the actor is like moving their arms and their shoulders are dipping, and like how they're carrying the weight in their hips with every step, holding a half-pound hockey stick versus what should actually be like a 10 to 20 pound giant plasma gun that would really make them react. So they're just waving around this gun like it weighs nothing. And like that's a lot of the stuff that anime does, is they don't put the weight and reactions to things.
But there are also certain shows that do that, or animations that they actually take the time, like Black Clover with the main character Asta. His sword has a weight to it, and just how he trained for months to finally be able to withstand it.
Yeah. But like those are the exception rather than the norm, because usually it's just a budget thing and a style thing. They kind of combine to like, let's just do what we know and what people expect. If we're going to show weight, it's different. They really need to.
So would it be like an insult if I went to an animator, like a free animator, and said, have you ever tried doing anime?
No, because like literally like 3/4 of the class that I like in animation, they are all like, I want to move to Japan and become the new president of Studio Ghibli. Like that was like what they all wanted to do. Like almost everyone was like anime focused, because like it's different now, but like back then the only like adult animation was sitcom stuff like Family Guy or anime. There was no thing like Gravity Falls or
Owl House
or Steven Universe that was like appealed to a broader audience despite being for kids at the time. Like now everyone's probably like, yeah, Steven Universe was like did everything, Owl House did everything. But back then it was just like anime. So everyone wanted to do anime. So if they had the opportunity, they would. But like then they kind of learned like, oh yeah, the anime isn't that animated, to be fair. And that's just a style and budget limitation. I'm sure they too would want to do big actions all the time.
But that costs a lot of budget, like One Punch Man.
Yeah. Like there's a reason why like the shows that really push it are like brought to the center of attention. Like even though it's not anime, but his anime influence was Legend of Korra.
Yes.
Like they went out of their way to make that look good. But even still, like a lot of the let's walk around and talk look very anime. Like they just kind of stood there and just their mouths moved.
I was just thinking of an anime. One of our good friends mentioned this anime to me, and he's like, the first episode is just bomb. It's awesome, but the everything else afterwards just sucked. And the reason why was because, and I don't remember the name of the anime, but they had this budget and they put all the effort into this one episode. So everything was just bells and whistles. And then they didn't have much budget left.
Was that?
So they only did like 1 or 2 or 3 episodes afterwards. And
was that Netflix show where the first episode was completely amazing, like the girl with the spiral face inwards and stuff?
Yeah. That one.
Well, I don't know the show you're talking about, but I know of anime like that. One from my early college, it was called Elfen Lied. And it was like probably the most violent anime I'd ever seen. And the first episode was like gorgeous, well animated, such as creepy death, scary tone. And then for the next 8 episodes, it was like people doing chores with like high pitched squeaky female voices. And you're like, what the fuck happened to like this insane fight at the first episode? So like that stuff does happen where they put it all into the first 1 or 2 episodes. And then they go, all right, we need to make the rest of the budget last.
Uzumaki. That's what it was called.
I think the best, the best animation that came from Japan and came to us, and then they had to redub it, was Ghost Stories.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I've
That
been
was
trying to
amazing.
find that again, but yeah, my one of my old roommates who was weird that he also hated all cartoons except for Avatar: The Last Airbender and like a handful of other things like Ghost Story. So that's how I got introduced to that show, because I thought it was just a kid show.
Ghost Story was something.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about the Ghost Story.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's so funny to watch. You can find them in compilations now. Like,
Yeah,
episode
I haven't
compilations.
looked in years.
There,
I'm sure
there was
It's quality.
there was a YouTube channel who literally made the show a drinking game. If something happened in it, they drank.
I believe it.
Like, if they mentioned anything religious, or they were wearing completely different clothes one frame to another, and how just the show became so funny. But
okay,
Well,
yeah, see, we need to do multiple bonus director's cut episodes, because like
Yeah.
now I'm in the mood to like just talk about weird shit I've seen in cartoons.
But there's something I've been needing to bring up. So back to you did when you were doing college and stuff, and you were doing flip frame animation, just single pages, how that ruined your hand and everything.
Oh, the injury.
No, the injury came from not from that.
Oh, not that, but that's a different topic.
Yeah.
There's this show that I posted in Telegram, that GIF called Zenshu, which I love that story because it shows how she focuses so hard on animated frame by frame and how long it takes. But she does it she's basically sent to another world and gains the ability to quickly create animations to fight monsters.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's funny because there's actually like one big difference between a lot of Japanese and Western style animation is we were taught to flip the pages down, but they flip the pages up.
Which is definitely an interesting way to do it, because they're both different, but both them equal a completely different result sometimes.
Yeah. And like, I think my guess is like, you can see more motion if you're flipping it down, but you can do more drawings with flipping it up. And because of the style where they don't move as much, it's easier for like the Eastern style animation to do it that way. I'm completely speculating on that, but it's making sense in my mind. But like, I'm analyzing, it's like she's flipping multiple pages, but she's not doing the 1-3-2 method, which is not how you animate. She should be she should be flipping the first drawing, then there's the third drawing, and then the in between is the top. And you flip in a way that you flip where you see the first page, then the second page, then the third page, 1-3-2. And the fact that she's doing this whole motion, that's you do that when you're done to see how it moves, not while you're doing it.
Which also, that is a great thing. But that seems like a good place to stop because of the whole. It's a whole nother lecture that could go on and on.
There's going to be multiple episodes at this point now.
One last question that should wrap it up completely.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to recommend anyone how they would create their own character or start their own animation, what would you recommend in a small sentence or two?
You can't do that.
You can be creative.
Less is more.
See?
Yeah. Because your instinct is to make the biggest, most amazing, fantastical, outrageous thing possible, and you're going to fuck that up. But if you put it all down to its bare bones, its essentials, and just give it one spark of genius, that is all you need.
And that is an amazing way to say that. Thank you, Aver, for joining us today, by the way.
Thank you for having me. I can do this anytime. You can pick my brain, pick the goo out of my goo.
I definitely will. I will definitely have you back to pick more. Do you have any shout outs or socials for people to know about?
Yes. I'm basically Aver the Dorbley everywhere, except for Affinity. I'm Aver-art because someone else was Aver like 10 years ago and took the name, so I don't have it. But yeah, it's Aver the Dorbley or Aver_the_Dorbley. One of the two pretty much gets you everywhere.
And how do you spell Dorbley, by the way?
Yes. Yeah, it is Dorbley. So that like Dorb.
That's how I assumed you would spell
it.
But some people might think it's Dorbly, not the E.
Yeah, it's actually kind of my name scrambled slightly.
Hey, I did that with my name of Gably.
Yeah, it's Bradley and then Dorbley. So you just kind of change the, a couple letters around and you get Dorbley. And yes, as a child, people would forget the E in Bradley. So yeah, it's that's how you do it.
Fits in both ways.
Or you could just search Aver Goo. Get a bunch of stuff too.
And when you're searching it, you can't just search for it just like that. You have to say it in your head, Aver Goo, like that. For emphasis, and type that into Google, Aver Goo for emphasis.
Your animated sticker of you exploding saying goo.
Yeah. There's also that one animated gif of like Adam Sandler saying go, but the text just says goo. That's how I read it. He's just going goo when he should be saying go. But yeah.
So yeah, we might as well hand it off to Space to wrap things up here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shut me up, please.
So, like always with guests that we've had on our show, if you guys ever have questions about this and you want to know a little bit more, you're more than welcome to email us at talktothemuzzle@gmail.com. And we can always pass on these questions to our guests to see if they would be willing to answer it. And then we can send it back to you. If you have any suggestions for additional guests that you'd like to have on our show, again, just email us, or you could tell us in our Telegram chat as well. And we usually take those ideas and jot them down into a Google Docs, and then we go off of that to create episodes and such. Other than that, we thank everyone for listening in, and we wish everyone a fantastic day.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.